Hi folks, it's Christopher Lawrence here with the Healthy Transformations Program. I wanted to share a really cool piece of research with you. This is called Beyond Willpower, Strategies for Reducing Failures of Self-Control. Beyond Willpower, Strategies for Reducing Failures of Self-Control. I wanted to read it twice, just so that you could lock it in. So when we look at like weight loss or eating correctly or exercising or reducing inflammation in the body through adapting our food, why is it that we can't seem to stay on track? With food, there is a bit of a magic bullet. When you eat a certain way, you'll produce certain results in the body. Certainly, if you eat the Healthy Transformations way, you're going to reduce inflammation, lose weight, and beat the odds of having chronic illness. But our behaviors, there doesn't seem to be a magic bullet. We hear things like, well, if I have a fresh start, or if I have a plan, or maybe if I go do some behavioral therapy, then that'll be the thing that fixes it. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. So why is that? What's the difference? The really key thing with this is that there is actually no bullet for behavioral change or for managing behavioral change. And the challenge that we continually run into is, why is it that, when I did, say, goal setting as my tactic for exercise, that worked really well. And maybe I added planning and tracking into that as one of my tactics. That worked really well. But then when I did correct eating, I use those same tactics and it didn't work. Why is that? Why is it? And we can drive ourselves bonkers with this stuff. I know even with me for years and years and years, I was like, why is it that this works for me and this doesn't work for me? Or it doesn't work over here when it worked over here. And so it's like we're just taking a shotgun and trying to pinpoint the center of a target. But what does a shotgun do? It just kind of blasts the whole thing away. And it's not pinpointed enough to kind of get the results. Well, if you're feeling frustrated, it's actually a very common thing, because we don't know what's actually going to work. There is no magic bullet when it comes to behavioral change, habit shifting, or anything like that. And what I love about this piece of research is that Angela Duckworth and her team, Catherine Milkman and David Laibson, I believe is how you say their name, they are from the University of Pennsylvania. They are researchers. They're psychologists who are researchers. I think all of them are psychologists, research psychologists. In any case, they put together a detailed list of 22 different tactics that they could identify that had been researched to some level, some to great detail and some to not so great detail. So what that tells me is that there's probably even more tactics out there, but these are the ones that they could find that had been researched that had some effect. And what they've come to is that not one tactic works for one person all of the time for whatever that goal or habit that they're working on is. It could take a combination of tactics, a lot of trial and error. So if it seems a little bit frustrating, a little bit overwhelming, a little bit confusing about why sometimes something works and why sometimes it doesn't when we're looking at behavioral change, it's because of this, because we don't actually know what the combination is going to be for you that's going to make it work. What's cool about it, though, is that we have a whole bunch of different options that we can choose from. And what I like about this article is that they actually go right into, and there's a nice little cool diagram in here. They talk about self-deployed versus other-deployed, and situational versus cognitive. And so we have lots of options to choose from. And so if this is something that you're interested in, you should check us out, healthytransformations.ca, and you can learn more about this and how it applies to weight loss. And you can reach out to us and attend one of our info sessions.